I think I'm going to call this either episode 4 or the epilogue of the Trail 666 series. So this is basically just the aftermath and inspecting for any damage. So it's going to be like a shop day vlog kind of thing. So we got ourselves all set up. A couple of Bush lattes, got some more engine ice, all the ratchets and shit we're going to need. We went to the car wash last night and tried some of this stuff here, and it actually freaking works. So you guys saw the machine beforehand, like in part 3, and I'll show it to you right now. And I mean, that's just pressure washing with the muck off, and it's actually pretty clean on the surface. So I think the first order of business is to pull the skid plates off the bottom and just get all that mud out of there, because the suspension is actually sagged quite a bit. And for those of you who said, well, you just weren't trying hard enough, like you weren't jerking hard enough, you have to take the guys to get a good run at it. That's what happens when we took a run at it. Same with this one here. So I really am sick of hearing, well, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. No, we actually did. You weren't there. So, and if you think you could do better, well then I challenge you to put my machine in that exact spot using the equipment we had to get it out. But I mean, this is just another thing that we have to clean out. This is all full under here. It's just a mess. And I'm really not looking forward to it, to be honest with you. But it's got to get done. So might as well get to it. Spline nuts. I mean, they're good for security, but my god, are they a pain in the ass to take off. Probably get the drill in. This is just what I was afraid of when I pushed it. We pushed it up here last night. Damn it. Alright guys, well, I started off filming what I was supposed to do today, or what I tried to do today, but it was just, there was too much going on all at once for me to work the camera and actually work. So what I ended up doing was I jacked up the rear end, took the rear, tried to take the rear tires off, you probably see that, and basically took all the skid plates off underneath, because I knew it was going to get full. And just wait till you see the pile of shit. It worked out. Hello. Hi. Yeah, that's Tuka. It worked out to, I think, 12 or 13 5-gallon pails full of Mattawa clay. And I mean, for scale, there's my hand in this pile. So it's a big freaking pile, and there's something wrong with the commander. I'm not sure exactly what. My buddy who's a mechanic, he speculates that there's still some shit in the clutch, because when I turn it on, I drained out the clutch and rinsed it out and then let it dry, put the cover back on, all that crap, and when it goes to turn over, it'll start and run, and then when I go to shift gears, it just starts having power applied to it right away, instead of, you know, how usually on most vehicles, most off-road vehicles, you have to give them gas to actually get them to move. And then the other problem is, and I think this is related to the power being applied, is when I come to a stop, yeah, it won't shift gears, like it won't switch from reverse to neutral or park or anything like that. And I mean, I do believe that is because of the power being applied. So it's just one thing after another. But I mean, the good news is, at first glance, axles and everything like that, there's nothing really, a lot of dust on the lens, there's nothing really broken. So I guess tomorrow, I mean, I was at it from, Christ, I think 7 o'clock, 7:30 this morning or something like that, to, I don't know, what time is it now, 5 o'clock, 5:30, something like that. I don't know, I went in about a half hour ago and took a shower. It was really hot today, and I just wasn't feeling it anymore. because I just hit that roadblock with not being able to drive it again. So tomorrow's task, I'm gonna have to go and jack up the front end and do the familiar job of changing out the rad, and this time I'm gonna have to clean the fan shroud too, because it's gonna be caked in shit. Wouldn't be surprised if it was anyways, but it's good that I got the bulk of it cleaned out. Like, so there's the skid plates, there's the one that goes directly under the seat, and this is the panel here that goes like in the side where on the coming down going into the gear shift. So I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow. It was a lot of work, a lot of bullshit, and I mean, if anything, this should be a good lesson to people who like to say mud riding or nothing. Well, that's great, but me personally, I like to avoid working on my machine as much as possible. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna go eat dinner and have a beer. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is day 2 of the Painkiller Rebuild series, or Epilogue Part 2 of the 666 series. Not sure what I'm going to title the video yet, but after yesterday, the amount of sheer sweat equity I put into Painkiller and getting pretty much nowhere, it's kind of discouraging. But I mean, get back on the saddle. Today's a new day. It is 7:15 Sunday morning, and I'm just on my way out to grab a coffee and a bagel, mainly because I don't have coffee at home and I want a coffee today. So, and before anyone comments about my sunglasses, 2 things. These are the OG Pit Vipers. These are safety glasses from the 1980s, and Pit Viper kind of stole the look, but this is the original Pit Viper. And I forget what the other thing was because I'm kind of still asleep. But we just need to refuel, and I'm gonna start when I get back. I'm gonna rip the clutch apart again, attempt to take the belt out because there's shit in the threads. The clutch tool wasn't threading in all the way. It would go in and then just bind up before it would start to push the clutch faces together. I don't know what the name of the parts are. I'm sure someone knows the name of the parts. Feel free, comment down below. And then I think we're gonna tackle probably the rad, because I know that's gonna be a gong show, because I have to clean out the fan shroud too. So we'll tackle that, and then depending on how I feel, might do engine oil. If the clutch is working, I might do engine oil. If the clutch isn't working, I'm gonna really try and focus on making sure the clutch is working properly and it can still drive. So that's that. I guess I'll see you in a hot minute. I just want to give a quick but very special congratulations to my friend Dane, Snowman ATV on Instagram. He just hooked up he just got sponsored essentially by Demon Power Sports, and that is just an awesome sponsorship, and I couldn't be happier for him. So Dane, congrats, bud. Keep it up. One freaking thing that sucks about living in an apartment, I don't have a garage or anything to put my tools in, so my tools gotta kind of get spread all over the place. My drain pan and jack stands live there. I got some stuff underneath there, and a lot of shit in here. Then all the actual expensive tools I just keep in the truck. So please, nobody steal my truck. Okay, I'm gonna get set up and check in with you guys. So, to pull your clutch apart, now I'm speaking from experience. To pull your clutch apart, it is far easier to take the skid plates off, because the holes they give you, they're just not, how do I say it? They're just not that big. So, but to pull the clutch, it's actually pretty easy. If there's room, all you need is an 8mm, and I'd recommend an 8mm socket and a ratchet wrench. Or you can actually, on the top side, you can use an impact to take them out. and you can use an impact to drive them in. Just don't tighten them all the way, because it is a plastic housing and you don't want to crack that. Need a freaking extension. Alright, it's time for the fun part on the underside. There's no room under here for an impact. And then these things, when they're on their way out, they get so loose that the ratchet doesn't work properly. Like, it goes to tighten it back up again. That's how loose they get. And I mean, like, it just can't be easy. It just can't be easy. There's always something on this goddamn machine that's like, oh, you think it's easy? Think twice. Buy a mid-engine, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Yeah. About as much fun as a chainsaw enema. So this is after it was cleaned. And I honestly don't think this is supposed to be rusty, but I could also be wrong. So yeah, just feeling it. There's a lot of debris and shit in there. So I have to get wiped out. Same thing in here. And the other problem was I couldn't get my frickin' clutch tool to go in all the way to take the belt off. So I'm gonna have to mess with that too. This side by side truly is the gift that keeps on giving. So here we can witness a familiar scene. Wow, that came loose. The familiar scene is Damien working on his rad. Never be freaking easy. So right there, what you're looking at, that is the fastener that holds the fan shroud onto the rad on the bottom. And on this side, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, right in there, I don't know if the camera will see it, but right in there, there's one of those tabs that's what the bolt is supposed to screw into. And way back I said, would it kill you to bust out a welder and tack some stuff in place? So the tabs that hold that thing the tabs that hold that thing in place, they snapped off, so the bolt's just spinning freely. Just can't be easy, can it? So I'm running out to the Canadian Tire because I can't get that tab undone. So I've tried prying it, I've tried putting penetrating oil on it. Nothing is working. So I'm off to get some brake cleaner or parts cleaner just to take the oil off, and some JB weld or something like that. See if I can weld it back in with JB weld. It's the only thing I can think of at this point. It's just, it's goddamn frustrating. It's only 9 in the morning now. I'm pouring sweat because it's humid as hell here. And the last thing I wanted was to run out to the goddamn hardware store to have to get more shit just to try and take the freaking rad off. Again, I can rant for hours about this, and it's not just BRP, it's all of them. Like, why don't you, instead of cheaping out, I'm sure people who work on their own shit would gladly pay an extra $500 to $1,000 for a unit if they knew shit like this wasn't going to happen ever because they just welded the nuts in place. You know, I know I would have, for sure. All right, so went to the Canadian Tire. Figured we could try some JB weld. And this is like a JB weld putty I've never used before. And it should hopefully set just enough on there to give us a solid bond. Now this putty, they say, like, it comes 2 colors, the black and the gray, and they say you got to knead it together until it's one uniform color and then press it on, and it's supposed to set in 5 minutes and then cure after an hour. So we'll get this done. While it sets, we'll probably go work on the clutch. Yeah, I'm having a beer already. It's been one of those days. What I ended up doing was packing the JB weld again. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up, but all over here where my finger is, I basically packed the JB weld putty all over where that tab broke. So I'm hoping that it hardens enough just to pull that bolt out, and then I can pull the rad out. It wouldn't be a day working on Painkiller without having to fix and deal with bullshit BRP engineering. So yeah, absolute nonsense. Okay, so the first time around, the JB weld, it set, but it just cracked off when I went to turn it. I got the other 3 fasteners out, and in the meantime, while I'm waiting for the next batch to set, I stripped off the plastics in the passenger side, and I'm just gonna give it an engine oil change because it needs one anyways. So I really don't want to break out the grinder, but at this point I will if I have to. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of the bullshit. I'm sick of the nonsense engineering. I just need to get this rebuild freaking done because it's routine stuff that's taking way longer than it should. All right, guys, it's been, I don't even know when I stopped filming last. It's been quite a while since I filmed anything on this, mainly because I took a break for a couple of days because it was so frustrating. So the clutch wasn't working properly, so I is right apart right now. So you can see this is the components of the secondary, the spring, helix, and the 2 sheaves. These were all completely just right filled up with mud. Like, I took the ring out, this little plastic piece, I took that out. There's still loose stuff in there, but it's a much better than it was. And I literally just took the primary, the first half of the primary off, and these rollers here, these are all seized up pretty good, which would explain why shit wasn't working properly. So we're gonna have to go over that, clean all this shit up, clean the weights up, everything else. Here's the other spring, clean it up. And then in the machine, this sheave is pretty rusty, so I got some steel wool, and I'm hoping that this is good enough to just clean it up and get it running again. Obviously we'll clean up the housing. The other thing, I actually had to cut my belt yesterday to get the secondary off, because there was so much dirt in there that the clutch tool, the spreader, where is it? This guy right here, it wouldn't thread in all the way and open up the sheaves. It would just thread in and bottom out. So it's sad I had to cut a perfectly good belt, but I had to get that thing off to clean it, and I spent a good while yesterday cleaning it. So I guess now we will get to work on the primary. How's it going? Not bad.
Struggling?
What's that?
Struggling?
A little bit. I got it rebuilt.
Oh, you already got back on.
Yeah, I just got it back on now.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
What a stupid design this is. Come on. Now I'm getting annoyed. At least it's on now. Come on. wants to. Okay, calm down. Freaking get her done, bud. Doesn't help that it's hot. Probably not drinking enough. And the battery's almost dead on the camera. Actually, we gotta shift it into reverse. And I do not have a pry bar. I wish I had a big 3-4 foot crowbar right now, but okay, now it won't rotate. That's good. That's good. That's good. One step at a time. Yeah, see, he wedged it right in. The video I watched, the guy, there's not really many good videos on it. The guy wedged his pry bar right in here, got it started, and then just pried it on. So I don't even think I have anything remotely close to that. I'll tell you, I've about had it with working on this goddamn machine. It's just nothing can ever be easy. The only thing easy on this machine is taking the tires off. Everything else just has to be a massive ordeal. It's just so freaking frustrating. And it doesn't help that half my tools aren't where I live. They're at where I used to live. And I just had to go all the way back to the Canadian Tire to get a freaking crowbar, a 2-foot crowbar, because the clutch has to be that hard to put on that you need a freaking crowbar, and the exhaust pipe's in the way, so it doesn't just slide on and off. No, you have to freaking dick with it for and it's hot out, it's humid. I haven't eaten all day. I've had like 2 bites of a hamburger that Stacy brought home for when she came home on lunch, and the battery in the camera's dying, and I'm just over it. I can't wait till it's economically feasible for me to get the new Commander XMR, because as soon as I can do it, this prick is gone. I'm sick of working on a mid-engine. I'm sick of having everything in the way. I'm just, if this crowbar doesn't work, I swear to freaking God, you're gonna see this crowbar fly across the lawn. Stay on there, you prick. You gotta be kidding me. This can't go right. Drop the socket underneath the frickin' machine. About had it. And it's not even a 13. What is it? I don't know. 15 maybe? Can't even tell if the fucking helix is lined up. If that's gonna line up or not, I guess we'll see. Shove it on any further. Maybe. Do I have the rotation the right way? Yeah. think we finally won. Finally. I just gotta tighten that down and then put the lock nut back on. Fire it up and hope we did a good enough job. Well, I think we got her. Let's see, it's in neutral. That's exactly what it's supposed to look like, as far as I understand. And when you give it gas, so I guess the only thing left now is put the cover on, throw a couple bolts on, put the seat in, and take it for a short test drive up the road here. Hopefully this shit's over with now. Well, she's all cleaned up, ready to go, driving, and couldn't be happier. I just realized that I didn't film a closing for that escapade that was trying to fix it, and I figured that video needed a good closer. I did a video on Instagram saying how happy I was with the situation, that it was fixed and ready to go. So I have the stuff. Basically, there's some stuff I didn't do yet, and I'm just waiting to see on basically some sponsorship emails to see if some companies want to work with me before I start doing this extra stuff. But glad it's over, glad it's running. Rock hard, ride free. I'll see you on the next one.